Welcome back to CNN News 18. We're getting a big piece of breaking news coming in when it comes to the Manipur violence case in the Supreme Court, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what we are learning is that cases that have not been transferred to the CBI, but to ensure faith in the system, the Supreme Court has ruled that it is proposing to direct that there shall be 5 officers of the rank of at least Deputy SP who will be brought into the CBI from various states. Now, these officers will also be functioning within the 4 corners of the infrastructure and the administrative structure of the CBI when it comes to investigating the entire violence saga that has rocked Manipur. There will be 42 SITs looking at the cases that have not been transferred to the CBI. That is what the Supreme Court has said. That's the piece of breaking news that's coming in. 42 SITs to be overseeing all the cases that have come in from Manipur. Manipur violence case is in the Supreme Court, and this is what the Supreme Court has observed when it comes to those cases that have not been transferred to the CBI. 42 SITs to be established, as well as other police officers from other states to join the CBI infrastructure when it comes to investigating those cases. I'm joined by my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar, who's joining us on the broadcast with this piece of breaking news. Ananya, over to you. Give us the details.
Well, definitely a big order is to come in from the topmost of the country when it comes to the Manipur violence and the situation that is there, the tense situation, the Supreme Court trying to give it a cooling cycle, and definitely a detailed order would be passed in the evening. However, the Supreme Court is very categorically in its, hearing before, in the oral hearing that is taking place before the court one had very, very categorically proposed as to what it is going to do. It is going to form one committee that would be overseeing, in fact, the rehabilitation and the humanitarian aspect of it. They will look into the rehabilitation of the victims who had, suffered due to this violence that has taken place. This would be, this would be a 3-member committee of former High Court judges, which would include judges like former J&K Chief Justice Geeta Mittal, and also former Delhi High Court Judge Justice Asha Menon. Apart from that, one former IPS officer who has also served at into the NIA and various other prestigious agencies, has been appointed in order to oversee the investigation into all of these cases. So big takeaways coming in from the Supreme Court of India when it comes to this, though a final order will be coming in the evening, as the Chief of India has very, very categorically stated that a detailed order would be passed by the evening. And these officers, and remember, Ayushman, 42 SITs have been formed in order to, probe the incidents with regards to what had happened in the Manipur violence. And remember that 11 to 12 cases of crime against women would be looked into by the Central Bureau of Investigation. In fact, in the Central Bureau of Investigation too, the Supreme Court has made certain changes. It has asked 6 deputy SPs to be included. They would be coming in from different states, and they will also be functioning under the Central Bureau of Investigation in order to carry out this probe. Apart from the cases that have been investigated by the Central Bureau of Investigation, 42 more SITs, that is Special Investigation Team, would be formed, and DIG rank officers from the other states would be taking up the charge of these 42 SITs. Each DIG rank officer would be heading almost 6 SITs. Now, the other committee that would include Justice Shalini Joshi, Justice Geeta Mittal, and Justice Asha Menon would be part of the committee that would be looking into the rehabilitation, and former IPS officer Mr. Datta Palsaigar would be looking into the investigation. So definitely a big order is to come in from the topmost of the country by the evening, though the proposition has been very, very categorically said. The Supreme Court, in a very, very clear view, to go in and to make things better at Manipur, has taken out a big detailed order. We'll have to wait for the final orders to come in, but this is what the committee is proposing to do.
Right. Thank you, Ananya, for getting us that piece of breaking